Alright guys, in this video we're going to talk about the cost of living, how much it really costs in the US now versus the Philippines, and why more and more people are deciding to leave the US and other countries and come live in places like the Philippines. Stick around. Alright, so a friend of mine sent me an article this morning, and I found it pretty interesting, pretty disturbing to be honest, that the average cost of living for a single guy in the US, now it breaks it down by state. There's some states that are around 80 at the lowest, some go up into the higher, a little over 100K, but the average in the 50 states is around 100,000 to live well. Now I'm assuming that's gross income and not net income, but still that's a big chunk of change. And I can look back and just remember how much my rent was living, and even just finding after my divorce, I had a buddy said, hey, I got a nice furnished basement, fully furnished, everything, just ready just to move in. We'll include the sheets and towels and everything. I was like, yeah, fantastic. $500 I was living there, and that was including the internet, the electric, and water. And I was like, wow, I got a phenomenal deal. But it wasn't a long-term thing. I couldn't stay there forever. You know, ended up staying there I think a year, but eventually they would have wanted their basement back. They were a growing family, so I found a very rare deal. And I wanted my own life and my own privacy, my own place that I can call home. So, I just look back at the cost of going out to eat. Just myself, I was on a live stream a little while ago, and somebody was telling me just to get a burrito at Chipotle now is around $12. And thinking to myself, that is around 650 pesos about. And I know Maya and I there's a lot of places that we can go out and eat for 650 pesos for both of us. That's not even including a drink or anything with that. You know, the other day we went out and we had, this was with me, Maya, and Nora. We had 3 drinks. We had, Nora ate 2 orders of French fries. We ate an appetizer that came up, 2 main beef dishes with mashed potatoes and vegetables, and then we had one dessert that we all split. And that whole bill came out to around $40 for 3 people, for appetizer, dessert, drinks, everything. I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, in the US, there's no way you could eat like that. And it's no wonder that more and more people are leaving. And my friend also sent me a thing about the college. This was in the Miami Herald, that attending the University of Miami for the 2024-2025 school year will cost students over $93,000. For students living on campus, this is a $5,226 or nearly 6% increase from the previous academic year. I mean, I'm right now I'm trying to persuade my eldest son to come over here and go to college, which I would gladly pay for. Now, once you graduated, it still makes sense to go back to the US and work. There's just simply much more money than working in the Philippines, unless you could land something online, or maybe you could land a job in Singapore or something, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, here it's just super cheap. They don't do student loans here. People have, if they have to pay for like a private school, like at Silliman University here, people just pay that on a monthly basis, and there's no student debt. People graduate college, there's no student debt. They're done. They're ready to go work, get out into the workforce, work, and they don't need to look back on student loans. Now, during school, maybe mom or dad or a brother or sister has to chip in to help that sibling get through school, but at least there's no student loans. You don't enter the workforce with hundreds of thousands of debt from loans. That just doesn't happen here. And it doesn't even have to be the Philippines, but just retiring, like I said, 100,000 in the U.S., that's around gross. And here you can easily live off 2,000 a month. So you take that, 2,000, 20, $24,000 a year. That's net. That's net. But it's a no-brainer. And you can go to places like Vietnam and live cheaper. Places like Thailand, even a little bit cheaper. Cambodia. Malaysia might be a little bit higher. Singapore would be much higher. But you can live all over Southeast Asia. Much, much cheaper. Retire would be much, much cheaper. Now, if you own a house, maybe in the U.S., and it's completely paid off, and you're just paying the property tax and things like that, then yeah, maybe that's an option. But again, it is no wonder people are leaving in droves, to be honest. I mean, I see more and more people coming all the time here. Granted, you're starting to see younger people too, but they just don't stay long. They either can't make the income's just not steady enough, or maybe the source of the income dries up and they got to go back home, or they just get antsy and they just can't sit in one place. It's still, the majority of people who are living here are usually on a pension or something. And your pension absolutely is going to go further here in Southeast Asia. Also places like Central America. I mean, people are catching on. The American dream is kind of gone, to be honest. It's not what it used to be. It used to be that, when I was a kid, my dad would work. We had one car. He could pay the home loan, and you buy the car, and all the bills were paid with one salary. Mom stayed home and worked. Well, that is, and that's when we had traditional women still, right? They were at home, and they were still very traditional, taking care of the family. That still occurs here. Women are still very traditional. Even if you run into women who are working here, and maybe in the city, a lot of people think you have to go to the province to find yourself a traditional good Filipina. That is not true. You can find women in the city who perhaps have only been in the city for a year or two. They came from the province and they're working. Trust me, if you come along and you say, and you're serious and you're together and you say, you know what, I want a traditional woman. I want a woman who stays home, kind of takes care of the house, and so we can travel and do things. I guarantee that most of them probably will not have a problem leaving their job. Now, whether you would have to get involved in maybe helping out with the family, that's a whole other video. Maybe she's an orphan, maybe she's not close to her family. Even if she is, I find advantages to women who have been working and are separated away from their family, like working in the city, versus a girl who's from the province and has been living with their family the entire time. I find advantages to girls who've actually broke away from that, gone into the city to work, and have been on their own for a little while. And again, I still find them traditional, but I find that they have a little more life experience, maybe a little better command of English. They speak English, better, and they just kind of know how the world works a little better. And I think you have a lot more in common also. But again, the Western dream, it's kind of over for a lot of us, a lot of the guys. If you're not making that six-figure salary, again, that's probably gross, but you just I'll leave a link to the article down in the description. But why when you have to live off of rent, and you can't even afford to take a family out? I remember not even having to save the entire year to take a family vacation somewhere, the entire year to get a week or 2 weeks someplace. And now in the Philippines, off of a very modest income, I live off of a couple thousand a month, and Maya and I have been 4 places in a year: Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, local trips all over. We got Japan in August. You can't do that working in the States with a family. You can't just take off whenever you want. You got to plan it, get the time off from work, and save up. And it's expensive. Do you guys know how much it costs to go to Disney World now? I had a buddy who was telling me they wanted to go and spend a week at Disney World. transportation, food, hotels, everything. He said it was going to cost him like 5-10 grand for the family of like 5, I think. It's outrageous, you know. Maya and I flew to Vietnam and spent 3 weeks in Vietnam, traveling from south to north, hotels, transportation, food, entertainment. A couple $1,000s, guys, for 3 weeks in Vietnam. That's all it cost. So, something to think about. As always, guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want more videos and premieres to all my videos before they hit the main YouTube channel, check out my YouTube membership by clicking the join button under any of my videos, or check out my patreon.com/Gio in the Philippines, where all my videos will premiere first, plus a lot more benefits and 80 additional plus videos that are not even on YouTube. Thank you guys so much, and I will